Hi everyone, I'm Noit Page and I'm starting with all kinds of greenish painty papers I've got. Some of them is just wipe up excess paint. Here I cleaned some brayer and stamped on it. A dictionary page again, cleaned a brayer and stamped. These two are jelly plate prints and one from some stack pad. And I just want to start by gluing down pieces randomly on my page, and I'm going to tear pieces, and because it's a thin paper I'm just going to use a glue stick, and I am trying to use the ones that have straight edges to the straight edges I've got here, but otherwise this is going to be quite random and we'll see what happens. I do try, and I will try to put from the same paper in several places over this page, so I will have a repeat of the same color in several places. So I've already put from this paper in 3 places. I'm moving on to another one. Maybe I'll use this one so I can see where I'm putting the glue. Okay. I am going to try and do it quickly because that's not the main part. Just covering the page so it will be interesting. I didn't want to, you can use white glue, but I didn't want to use it so I won't have to wait a long time for the whole thing to dry. That's the only reason why I'm using now a glue stick. And if I have something that is not straight, I will just trim the excess later. As I said, now I'm more concerned about covering the page with all this. Let's put it here, wherever. And just one more piece from this one. Next. It's sticking a little bit out of the page. As I said, I will trim it later. Okay, so this one didn't go as well. Don't care. Ooh, this gel like glue stick is really sticky and yuck on the fingers. Okay, so I'm going to continue just putting down some pieces and I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. I've got complete coverage and now I want to add details. I want to bring everything together. I'm going to stencil. It doesn't have to be stenciling. You can, anything that will create a pattern that will repeat all over will bring everything together. You can stamp, you can do many things. I've got this stencil, this one from deco art, and I want to start stenciling quite randomly again. I've got some gesso here with a little bit of water just so it won't be completely opaque. I'm also putting some, this is folk art pearl white. I'm hoping that I will get some shimmer. And I also have some, this is deco art moss pearl, again hoping for some shimmer and not a complete white. I don't want to cover all this with opaque stenciling, so let's hope for the best. So I'm starting with this. I'm using a makeup sponge, and as you can see it's diluted so it doesn't cover everything, and the stenciling is translucent. So now I'm picking a little bit of the pearlescent moss and I'm also dabbing on top. Now anything pearlescent, metallic, or anything shimmery is hardly seen in a video, but maybe if I'll tilt it later to the light, you will be able to see a little bit of shimmer. I don't know. Right now I'm just stenciling away, and if I feel it needs more, then I will just go over and add a little bit more, because maybe I just put a little bit more water than I had to in the gesso, like so. So this is just one, and now I'm putting the same one in another place and stenciling. I think I will stencil with the gesso first, and then I'll come back when the first layer is dry and add the pearlescent paint again, so I will have a little bit of shimmer, but it's not completely necessary, just something I thought would be nice. So I'm picking parts of this stencil where I think I need them, but otherwise I'm just putting this randomly on my page. Yeah, so got some work to do here with all of this. Maybe I'll do this one also. Let's see, just playing around. It doesn't have to be this stencil, it can be many other things, waves and circles and leaves. Whatever you have, use it. It really doesn't have to be this stencil. Maybe do another one here. I'm dabbing the excess. Okay, so I'm going to continue stenciling, and I'll be back. I'm back and finished stenciling. What can I say? The pearlescent paint is just a disappointment. You can hardly see the shimmer, even I can't see it. So I've taken this silver acrylic marker. I bought it in the cheap store, and I'm just going to do some circles just to have some shimmer in several places and to add to the whole thing here. And I'm going to do all kinds of sizes of circles and overlapping some of them, just spreading it around. And I'm trying not to touch it, because it takes like 3-4 seconds until it dries, and if you put your hand in it or anything in it, then it just smears. So I'm really trying to be careful. Let's see. Sometimes I don't know when to stop. But I did want some shimmer around my page, so that's the way I'm going to get it. Just spreading it. Let's see. Okay, now I've got some shimmer and more details, which is great. Okay, I think, yeah, maybe here. Okay, so now I'm moving on to my focal image, and I'm putting this aside so I can bring whatever I'm going to use. I was playing with doing some flowers, and I will tell you my process. Basically, I find flowers or leaves or any kind of thing that I like I've got this book that I bought in a second-hand store, and if I like this flower, then I will take a tracing paper and like this, and just go over and pick whatever I like. I don't always pick every detail, I just decide what I want. And so here is one of the flowers. Let's see. And I really liked this flower, so again I've traced it. Don't know how did I put it. Oh, here it is, this one. So this was the first one, and then I just elaborate when I transferred it to this watercolor paper. I just played with it. It's not exactly the same, and then I just colored with some watercolor pencils. And this yellow stuff is just a gel roll pen. Now I'm thinking of using this free flowers for my page. So now I'm just going to fussy cut them. Oh joy. So I'll just go and take them out of the page. Okay, so for the fussy cutting I'm using nail scissors. They are more thin, dainty, and they have a curve, and it's easier to cut with this. Now I'm not really concerned if I have white showing. I'm not that fussy about the fussy cutting. And that's what I'm going to do for the next few minutes. So I'll be back once I have my flowers cut out. Okay, got my flowers and I was already prepared to stick them here, and then I decided that I want to add more details, more definition to the page. So I'm going to remove them right now, and I've put here some dark green acrylic paint, and I'm thinking about putting this vine stencil to the left here. I'm just debating with myself if I want this smaller one, or I don't know. Well, I'm gonna start with it. Whatever will be, and let's hope for the best. So again, I'm just taking some paint with a makeup sponge, and I'm dabbing away. I haven't cleaned the makeup sponge, and I still got some of the pearlescent paint here. I don't care, because then it will just give me variation in the color and it won't look flat. I do try to have some darker areas and some lighter areas, just as I said, so it won't look flat. I've put some masking tape to the left just to protect this spiral. I'm just adding in places that I want a little bit darker color. Yeah, and I'm just going to add a little bit more here. It didn't reach the bottom. Okay, let's see. Something like that. I think I'm going around the page with the makeup sponge, and I will darken the edges just to put everything more framed. I'm moving it before I'm doing something like dirtying it with some paint. Not trying to be precise, just putting it all around. Maybe I will even go more towards the inside. I like the corners to be more dark, and I'm trying for it to be a little bit blurred, and so I won't have straight edges, straight lines. So I hardly have paint on my sponge, and it helps me to just blend it and have this blurred effect. Let's see. Okay, it worked. Yay. So now just for the placement of my flowers, I think something like this. Yep. And some white glue. I've done these flowers on a really heavy watercolor paper, so let's hope that the white glue will be sufficient for it to stick. I'll put pressure on it in a minute just to flatten everything. So I'm going to glue this and I'll be back. Just need to do a stem and we'll see. Got my flowers in place. Now I just going to do a stem. I've got here an acrylic marker from Zig, and I bought it in the cheap store. What do you know? The things that I find there, and I'm not really concerned about the accuracy of the stem. I'm just having fun. Good enough for me. I just want to add some words here. I've got a stamp, this cling stamp from Stamperia, and archival ink. Okay, I want it here, so putting a little bit of pressure and holding it in place and hoping for the best. Okay, I like it. Only small things with great love. And I really like the black here on top of all of this, so I'm thinking maybe I should have added some detail with black all over the background, but I'm going to leave it be, and I'm not touching anything anymore. So this is it. Thank you for watching, and thank you for leaving me comments down below. I'll be seeing you in my next video. Bye for now.